What's good guys, Tiger here, welcome to the channel. Today I have got for you 10 signs that you are a good teammate. Now sportsmanship in Call of Duty is something you don't see that often, but there are people among us who are good teammates and will do things for the good of the team. It will be interesting to see what you guys consider to be good sportsmanship in COD. So leave your suggestions in the comment section. Okay, so the first one is waiting for others to get into your vehicle before shooting off. So when you play Ground War, there are lots of vehicles and we all know it is a massive race to get to those vehicles as soon as possible because there are only a number of spaces in each vehicle and you don't want to be left behind because vehicles is the fastest way to get into the action and it's going to be the fastest way to get some of the key objectives on the map. Now, depending on your spawn, you could be the very first person to get into one of the key vehicles and be the actual driver or pilot. Now, good teammates will wait till their vehicle fills up with players before shooting off. Now, if you get into a vehicle midway through the game and you can see that there are teammates running in your direction, the good thing to do is to wait for those players. There is no point driving away or flying away straight away when you could be helping a few guys out on your team. A common thing to do when you want someone to wait for you is to shoot at the vehicle. I've noticed this is the go-to sign for alerting those players that you want to get into that vehicle. So whenever you get into a vehicle and there are players that are shooting at you, 9 times out of 10 that means that they want to get into your vehicle. So just hold off, allow them to get in. If you see that they're taking too long or they start heading into a different direction, then of course you can just shoot off, but the best thing to do is to wait for those players. But it's still always good to wait for those players that clearly want to get into your vehicle. Okay, number 2 is put down your resupply ammo in areas where your teammates are around, especially if you are sniping on a roof. So if you find yourself in a good spot, especially on Ground War where there doesn't seem to be an ammo supply anywhere nearby and you need to use your ammo, or maybe you never need to resupply, you've just resupplied and you think you'll be fine, put down your ammo supply in a good spot. Not only will you get score every time that they resupply using your ammo, but you're helping your team out and that is always a good thing to do. Okay, number 3 is play the objective and help your team win. I'm pretty sure I can speak for all of us that we want to win our games. Obviously some people more than others. There's some people out there who only focus on kills and that is absolutely fine. There is nothing wrong with that at all. But I would like to think that the majority of us playing COD want to win our games. So play the objective or just play around the objective. If you want to just get kills, that's absolutely fine, but try and get kills that are going to be beneficial for all of your team. I have noticed since playing Modern Warfare, I'm playing a lot more objective based than I was in previous games. And my win-loss ratio is pretty decent, a lot better than my KD ratio is looking at the moment. So if you want to be a good teammate, play the objective and help your team win. Okay, number 4 is push areas of the map with your teammates. So either go in first and be the bait, or go in second and be ready for the trade. It doesn't matter which one of you goes in first. If you push things together, if you go with your team, if you clear out a building together, you are statistically more likely to survive, get more kills, get more assists, get more score, clear the building out successfully, and that can go on to mean more things if you do end up surviving. I do feel that Modern Warfare, especially with some of the new game modes that we've got, including Ground War, is a lot more objective based than others. I feel like a lot of us are playing more around the objective because of the way that this game is played and map position is just so important. So if you want to be successful at this and if you want to win more of your Ground War games, push areas of the map together. Okay, number 5 is take out the difficult players on the other team. So if you want to be a good teammate and you want to do a good deed for your team, if you know that there are players on the other team who are just going off or just being a nuisance, you should be the player to take that person out. They could be the person in the tank on the mountain ridge, they could be someone who's sniping at the back, or they could be a player who's just running around with an MP5 absolutely slaying. Now, if you want to be a good team player, you should focus on these people and your team will love you. Number 6 is take down vehicles and kill streaks ASAP. No one likes to see tanks on the map or Harrier jets in the sky, so be that guy who destroys them ASAP. At the moment, that is something that I am currently doing. I'm trying to level up the peeler. There are lots of challenges that you need to get with these launchers, and I know I'm going to have to get it gold at some point. So I always have a launcher as my secondary weapon. I enjoy using it. I get lots of score from destroying streaks, so it does definitely give you a lot of benefits, and your team will love you for it. Okay, number 7 is clear progress on the flags in Domination and Ground War. So the way that those flag objective games work in Modern Warfare is if a flag is occupied by the enemy and you step on the flag to capture it, if you die, your progress will be saved on that flag. It will not decrease unless a member of the enemy team goes back onto that flag and clears your progress. This is something I think is a great idea, and I'm really happy it's been introduced in Modern Warfare. In previous games, your progress can just get completely lost, like in World War II. You might be really close to getting that B domination flag, and then if you die, all of your progress is lost and it's back down to 0. And in other games, if you die with it close to finishing, it will then slowly decrease and go back down to 0. But you do have a chance of saving your progress if a member of your team gets back on that flag shortly. But in Modern Warfare, that progress does not decrease. I think that is a good thing because it forces the other team to get on that flag and clear it. And you get points for doing this, and your team will love you for it. So I definitely recommend you do it. Number 8 is fill the gaps in your team roles. So this is definitely more of a competitive, kind of like a high level strat. But if you're playing your game and you look at your team and you start noticing some patterns, you might notice that your team doesn't have any snipers, or it doesn't have a submachine gun player, or it doesn't have someone with a rocket launcher. Whatever role is not being filled in your team, the best thing for you to do is fill it. So if you are a versatile player and you're not bothered about what weapon you use or what style of play you go for, then you are likely to win a lot more games if you fill the roles. Now in competitive, this is very important. If all of you are running around with submachine guns and no one has the M4A1, then you're going to die. If no one is running a sniper in S&D and you know that you are a good sniper, it might be worth you running that sniper for this game, even if you didn't plan to at the start. It's very important to fill the gaps in your teams in competitive, but it can be just as important in public matches as well. Number 9 is hold the spawns or home flags. So this one can be really important for winning more games in Domination, Hardpoint, Ground War, all of those major game modes where you can control the spawns by objectives. If you're playing Ground War and you notice that the enemy team take your A flag or your E flag, depending on what end of the map you're spawning, then you're going to really help your team if you're able to get back that home flag. And you might want to consider maybe playing a little bit back, play towards your home flags to kill any of the enemies who are trying to flank to get those flags off your team. As for Hardpoint, what's a game mode where spawns are very, very important. In Hardpoint, competitively, there is a player on the team who plays the anchor role, and the anchor is someone who sits at the back of the spawns and protects those spawns. They prevent the enemy from spawning back there because those spawns are closer to the hardpoint. So whenever your teammates die, they are going to spawn on you and have a shorter distance to get back into the hardpoint than the other team. In Hardpoint, controlling spawns is one of, if not the most important aspect of that game mode. That's why it's competitive, because it takes skill, it takes decision making. You've really got to think about what you're doing in that game mode. So if you're playing public matches and you're playing Hardpoint, if you hold the spawns for your team, you are statistically a lot more likely to win your games, and your team is going to love you for getting those good spawns. And number 10, possibly the most important one out of them all, and it is don't use shotguns. Shotguns are so annoying in Modern Warfare, especially the 725. No one likes a shotgun player in Modern Warfare, so do your team a favour, do the enemy team a favour, and just cut that shit out. Those are my 10 things, the 10 signs that you are a good teammate in Modern Warfare. Now, one thing I would like you to do before we end this video is I want you guys to rate how good of a teammate you are out of 10. 10 being perfect, where you are the most selfless player and does everything to help your team win, to benefit your team. Number 1 is where you are the most selfish player and you could not give a fuck. Let me know in the comment section. It'll be really interesting to hear your guys' explanations. But that is it for today's video, guys. If you enjoyed and you want to see more, consider subscribing and turning on notifications to stay updated on all of my latest content. But that's all from me, guys. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.